Hello lovelies, good day and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, you're welcome. My name is Bubu, and to all my returning subscribers, you're also welcome. Thank you so much guys for always stopping by my channel. Thanks for always coming back to watch my videos. In today's video, we are going to be learning how to cut and sew a simple bubu dress just like you are seeing on your screen from start to finish. And this dress also has an inseam pocket. We are going to be learning all of that in this particular tutorial. If this sounds like what you're interested in, come along with me. So right here is the Ankara fabric that we'll be using. This is 2 yards of Ankara. Then here are the basic measurements you need to measure on any adult at all to achieve a dress like this. Now, the next thing is you have to put into consideration the shoulder. Because it's a cut together sleeve, the shoulder in this case is not going to be the normal fitted dress shoulder. So this person's fitted dress shoulder is 16, but in the case of a dress like this, a shoulder is 32. So is this 32 I'll be putting into consideration? I'll be measuring 32 twice. That's one for front and one for back. This helps me to know the exact quantity of fabric I'll be needing to cut a dress like this. So I'll go ahead to measure 32 in two places. I'll fold that into four. So I proceeded to measuring that, and then I just want to cross check what I measured. So on fold of 4 now, this is 16 plus 1 inch allowance for folding the sleeve. 16 times 4, that's 32 in two places. Then for the length, short gown length is 40. I added 2 inches allowance for folding the down. The next thing is to start transferring a measurement into the fabric. So from the side that everywhere is closed to the side that one side is open, you are going to measure the back, which is on fold of 2 now 16 plus the 1 inch allowance for folding the sleeve. Then the next is to measure a armhole. Our actual armhole is 18, so I'm going to be marking 9. Then I'll be adding 1 inch allowance. The next thing is to measure a bust divided by 2. A bust divided by 2, then I'll be adding 5 inches allowance. So I divided our bust by 2, I marked that, then I added 5 inches allowance. I'm just going to be connecting the bust point to like the armhole, and then I'll just rule it straight down from that point. Then after reading straight down, just for me to confirm if what I measured would be enough to go around her hips and still remain. Her hips is 44 divided by 411. I still have excess 4 inches allowance. Now to the neckline. It's a round neck, front and back. The front has slits. I used neck width of 7 on fold of 2. I marked 3.5. Neck depth of 1 for the front, 3 for the back for the round part of the front. Then I cut front and back out first. The next thing is from that point I'm going to measure 1 inch downward. We are trying to slant the shoulder now. So mark 1 inch downward. Then on the shoulder line, come downward with the 1 inch that you've marked at the armhole side. Then connect that point to the neckline and just proceed to cutting it out. This is just basically trying to slant the shoulder. Then proceed to cutting out your piece. So I'm just trying to check if there's a particular place I want to use for front or back. If your fabric has some patterns that you'd want to be at the front and some at the back, now is the best time to decide. But since this has the same pattern for front and back, I'm just going to pick any part as the front, proceed to cutting out the front neckline. Then for the slit part of the front, I'm going to measure 3 inches downward and just cut it open. It is that simple. The next thing is to start sewing, but before then I would like to mark where my pocket is going to be. I mean the inseam pocket. So our half length plus 2 inches. Our half length is 16 plus 2 inches. I marked 18. The actual wideness of the pocket is 6. So I'm going to be marking these points on both sides now so that when I get to my machine and I'm sewing, it will be easy for me to just keep that part and then fix the pocket when I'm done shaping. Then I proceeded to cutting the facing as well. I cut facing for front and back together. I basically placed my neckline on the Ankara I'm using for the facing. If it's lining you have for facing, it's fine. So I cut facing for front and back first. Then I proceeded to recutting for the front. So I'm just going to keep one aside. It's going to be the one for the back. Then for the front, I'll place the front neckline on top of it. Then I'll proceed to cutting just the round part of the neckline. I'm not going to cut the slitted part of the neckline on the facing now. When I'm sewing a neckline like this, I prefer to like sew the neckline first before cutting the slitted part on the facing or on the lining or whatever I'm using. I hope you guys get what I'm saying. So I'm going to gum an interfacing on the neckline first. Just make sure that the interfacing you are attaching is small, that the facing will cover the whole of it, that it will not be showing when you are done sewing. The reason I'm adding interfacing to this part is so that the slitted part will be firm. It will not just be like coming. There's a way it used to come down, if not interface. Like if there's no interface in there, there's a way that slitted part will just be falling down. But when you add interfacing, it will be firm. So I added my interfacing, then I'll proceed to turning the neckline right side of the facing the right side of the Ankara. I'll turn the round part of the neckline, I'll turn the slitted part of the neckline. I turned the neckline with hemming gum. So after turning the neckline, I'll proceed to cutting that slitted part open, just like I'm doing. Then when you flip it to the other side, this is what the neckline for front looks like. For the back, I'll do the same thing. I'll turn the neckline with hemming gum. I'll flip it to the other side. So for the front, after turning and flipping, I proceeded to pressing it so that the hemming gum can stick to the the Ankara, to the fabric. But I'm not going to be pressing the back because I don't want the hemming gum to stick the interfacing and the main fabric together yet for the back, because I'll be needing the back to turn my shoulder line. Then I also used hemming gum to gum down this part so that the facing is not even raising up at all. Yeah, so I gummed the facing down to the fabric. The next thing is to turn the shoulder line. So the main fabric is going to be facing main fabric, right side facing right side, and then the facing will be on facing. Just proceed to stitching and then stitch down to the round sleeve, and this is what it's looking like. At this point, you can now proceed to pressing the neckline for the back and gumming down the facing for the back as well with hemming gum. Then the next is to fold my round sleeve with the 1 inch allowance I had when I was cutting. I proceeded to fold in my round sleeve. For this folding of round sleeve, you can use hemming gum here, but I just want to stitch it down, so I stitched mine. But if you don't want the thread to be showing there, you can just use hemming gum. After this, I proceeded to shaping. With the shaping, I used like just 1 inch to shape. Just don't forget that when you get to the part that the inseam pocket is going to be, you will skip that 6 inches. Hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So you're going to skip the 6 inches. You will sew from the armhole to where the 6 inches starts from. Then you skip the 6 inches and proceed to sewing straight down to the whole length of the dress. So I did this to one side, then I proceeded to doing it to the other side. I didn't even measure when I was shaping. I just used 1 inch and I shaped. So after this, I folded it down and then I added my inseam pocket. I have a detailed video on how to add inseam pocket on my channel. I'm going to put the link up in the description box in case you don't know how. Then for the down of this dress as well, you can use hemming gum to fold it if you don't want the thread showing. But I actually stitched mine. After all being said and done, this is the outcome of the dress. I hope someone found this video helpful and interesting. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed, kindly do, and don't just subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so you get notified when next I upload new video on this channel. Thank you so much for sticking with me from the beginning of this video till this point. If you have any question, please don't forget to ask me down in the comment section. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.